What's up, Nickel City Mafia? Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Mike Thornton, and today we're going to talk a little pregame. Buffalo Bills, Chicago Bears, tomorrow, Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Can't wait. There's a great script with this game, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So, these are things, normally during the season when I have my pregame shows, we'll be talking about key matchups and things we got to do to win the game, notable injuries, things like that. It's a little different in preseason, right? Preseason, we're kind of just getting guys game ready, getting everything in sync, and then evaluating a lot of that young talent that we've drafted over the past few years, including this year. And it really, to me, that's what's exciting about preseason. I know a lot of people don't care about it. It's important to me and a lot of others. Again, we have some tough teams ahead of us, right? Kansas City, we were so close. But they've beaten us 3 times in the last 2 years, and I thought pretty handily. And then we have the Ravens, that game was super tough, and they've only gotten better. And now everyone's talking up Cleveland. So evaluating these youngsters, not only for them to make the squad, but to help us get to that next level. So who are these? Who are these players that are going to take us there? Because we need to get better. I think we did get better. I think we may have enough, but it's going to be tough. And this is what I'm looking for. And so that's what we're going to get into today. As I'm talking through things, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you want to see in tomorrow's game and who you're pulling for. There's some players you're going to hear me talk about that I've been pulling for since day one. And then there's another player I'm pulling for a different reason. And I'll talk about that when I get to him. So let's get into it. Let us get into it today. Let's go. All right, so the notable ins and outs. Super excited about this. Zach Moss back on the field. He's coming off a hamstring injury. I'm so worried when Zach gets on the field, right? Because he just can't stay healthy. Everyone's expecting a big rebound year from him. But if he can't stay healthy, that's never going to happen. So he's coming off a hamstring. We know how sensitive those could be. I don't really expect him to play too much past 2 series maybe. If he plays a full quarter, I'd be shocked. There's no reason to risk that with him, especially with his, his potential for getting injured. I think, put him in there for a little bit, work that hammy, and then get a little more time maybe next week. So I'm excited about that, seeing him, what he can do. Deion Dawkins, oh my gosh, super happy to have this guy back. I mean, he just went through a very scary battle with COVID. Thank God he pulled through and he's back on the team, ready to go again. I don't expect him to the team to overwork him. If he plays a few series, maybe a quarter, just to get that energy level back. I mean, if you've had COVID, which I've had, it's no joke, and coming back from it is difficult. Getting those energy levels back, it takes time. So super happy that he's back. And again, don't overwork him, guys. And we can get him a little more next week as well. So they'll probably slowly work him back in. Josh Allen, as you've probably heard, he's not playing tomorrow. Precautionary measures. And I don't blame the team. I mean, why would you do that? Don't risk Josh. He's practicing against one of the best defenses in the league. Now, it's not game speed. Of course, they're not out there trying to kill one another. But again, I think Josh, we'll see him next week. I think he'll probably play a few series, get the timing going, and then they'll pull him out and keep him safe for that opener against Pittsburgh. Stephon Diggs, who's been, he's been nursing a knee injury since late last year, and this is just another precautionary measure as well. If the season was to start today, he'd be ready to go. I think we'll see a little bit of him next week as well. So a couple series next week. So those are the notables, ins and outs. So let's talk about what I would like to see on offense. Oh my gosh. The NFL, they must have taken a page from these reality shows. I think they look at the moves. I'm joking here, but I think they look at the moves that happen during the offseason, and when they create the schedule, they look for certain scripts. And here's a great one, right? Mitch, he's going to start. Trubisky, he was the starter in for the Chicago Bears for the last 4 years. Didn't do so well. Of course, we all know he's famous for being drafted ahead of Mahomes in the same year. Looking back, Chicago's like kicking themselves all day. But poor Mitch, he's wearing the colors now, and we need to support him. And I just want to see him light it up. I mean, last week I was disappointed. They only let him throw the ball twice. He was 1 for 2. That's not gonna do it for us. We need to see him throw that ball. I'm hoping he plays the whole half. I think he will. And this is just a great revenge game for him to say, hey guys, maybe I wasn't so bad. Maybe it was the environment around me. Of course, he's not going to have all the weapons that Josh Allen would have on day one on the opening day, but he'll have some of those weapons, and let's see what he can do. I'm hoping he puts the ball up anywhere from 15 to 17 times. I mean, that's what I'm hoping for in the first half, and let's see what he can do with that. So I'm super excited about Mitch playing and getting a chance to get a little revenge on his ex-team. So that'll be fun to watch. And of course, we need Mitch. I mean, if Josh, for whatever reason, gets knocked out of a game, or heaven forbid, a longer term injury, Mitch is the guy. So we need to see him open it up and throw that ball. Davis Webb, I mean, had a great showing last week. I was super impressed with what he did. He has a lot of history to him. I mean, if you look back at his college career, he was actually a starter at Texas Tech, and guess who backed him up? Mahomes one year, and then the following years the script flipped, where Mahomes was the starter, and then Davis Webb was the backup. Davis Webb later went on to transfer to the University of California, had a great, fantastic senior year, and then he was drafted by the Giants and just really never given a chance. What I saw last week was pretty impressive. This guy is the same size as Josh Allen, pretty much the same speed if you look at their stats. Of course, he doesn't have the arm that Josh Allen does, but who does, right? Who does? So super excited to see him again, because if Mitch doesn't pan out, that's going to be our guy. And then Zach Mawson, I've already talked about. He's going to play a little bit. Excited to see what he can do. Again, people expecting big things from Zach this year, and so are we. I mean, I was one of those people during the draft who felt we should have drafted a running back. I don't know where you are with me on that. Let me know in the comments. I wanted to go after a running back, and there was a nice running back available during the second round when we took Boogie. Now, I love Boogie, and I'm super excited we have him. But again, I was one of those guys wanting running back. And another position was tight end. But by the time the second round came around, most of those good tight ends were off the board. So I get it. Matt Breida, I mean, he had 12 touches last week. Didn't do too much with it. I mean, if Moss is going to continue the injury bug again this year, we're going to need to depend on Matt Breida. So I expect him to play a little bit more this game, and I'm hoping to see more as he learns the system, as he learns the offense. Now, Singletary, be interesting to see if Singletary gets the low workload that he did last week. I don't think so. With Moss in there, let's get some Moss. Let's get Moss some action. Let's get some Breida in there. And Singletary, I think, gets a rest this week. That's just my thought. What do you guys think? Let me know. Isaiah McKenzie and Marquise Stevenson. Man, this is kind of I've seen some channels that I watch, and this is becoming a heated conversation in some of the channels, and whether or not Marquise Stevenson's even going to make the squad. I have, since I did my draft review back early on when I first started this channel, been pulling for Marquise Stevenson. I see some good things, and I certainly think he can make the squad. How can he make the squad? Special teams. Now, I know a lot of people are already penciling in Isaiah McKenzie for that kickoff return. We lost Andre Roberts, an all-pro, and I don't know. You need more than McKenzie to do that. So I'm not sure. I just need to see more. I need to see more of McKenzie. I don't want to see the turf monster tripping him up anymore. Last week when he had a kick return, he just fell. I mean, the turf tripped him up. And I don't, for those kick returners, they need to be able to break some tackles. And Marquise Stevenson, of course, he was in the fourth quarter and getting his most returns against, third and fourth stringers. But again, he looked a little impressive. So I want to see more of him. And of course, he had the big catch on 4th and 10 to keep the drive alive and allow us to win that game. Again, preseason's not really about winning or losing. I get that. I mean, everyone wants us to win every game. It's really about evaluating those guys. So that's an interesting battle. I it's not that Isaiah McKenzie's not going to make the squad. He's a lock. He's on the 53-man squad. Absolutely. He's been improving year after year with us, had a really good year last year, and he is going to be a returner for us, whether it's a punt returner or kickoff returner. But we need another guy. And Marcus Stevenson could help out with that. Also, Marcus Stevenson and Isaiah McKenzie, they're very similar. They're super fast. I think their 40-yard times are, split seconds apart. I think Marquise is a little taller, slightly. And anyhow, speed kills, right? They always say speed kills. Look at Tyreek Hill. Now, these guys aren't Tyreek Hill, but they're kind of like the size of Tyreek Hill. And you can do a lot of things with these type of players. So that's why I have them on the board. I've been pulling for Marquise Stevenson. I already know McKenzie's a lock, but let's see what happens. Let's see if he can put on a couple more shows this game and maybe next game and make that squad, that 53-man roster at the end of August. If he doesn't, I'm hoping that they can put him on the, what do you want to call it? I forget the name of it right now. I'll think of it in a second. But hopefully, the practice squad, sorry. Hopefully you can put him on the 12-man practice squad if he doesn't pan out for the 53-man roster. I think it'd be a huge disappointment to see him go to another team and be able to contribute on their special teams, because he can be a playmaker, and he can be a playmaker like McKenzie is. So we'll see. Let's see, who else I got on there? Jake Kumaro. Okay, let's get into this a little bit. I hear great things coming out of camp about Jake, right? We know I've seen him play with Green Bay. I've seen him play with Rodgers. Rodgers was upset to lose him to the Bills. The Bills seem to be talking him up. Josh Allen came out, I think it was last week, talked him up again. They love this guy. So what I want to see that whatever's happening in training camp, in practice, translate to a game. So that's why I have him on here. I want to see Jake show up. He's got great size, 6'4". He's been in the league, I think, 3 to 4 years now. And, he's been a fourth, fifth stringer, and but he has gotten some play time. So let's see it. I expect to see him in that game tomorrow. And I want to see what everyone's talking about. Because, Jake and Marquise Stevenson, they're battling for a receiver spot. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts as well on Jake. Any tight end. Will the real tight end please stand up? Please stand up. Yeah, I'm using a little Slim Shady reference there. But come on now. Dawson Knox. I need to see you. I need to see you step up. That is a position. First of all, the running back. I don't want to get sidebarred here, so we'll come back to that in a little bit. But Knox, you need to step it up. That's a position that has been kind of hurting us, and I think we need to elevate there, right? We need to elevate there. He has the potential. Of the 3 tight ends, he's the most skilled. He's the most athletic, although the other 2 aren't far behind him. And so again, will the real tight end please stand up? Because we need this position badly. Now, I love Tommy Sweeney, the story about him last year, dealing with COVID and myocarditis. Hopefully I said that right, which is a inflammation of a heart muscle, caused him to miss the whole season. Whenever he's in the game, he played last week, he made a few catches, and he makes plays. Unfortunately, he got hurt, and I believe he was in a boot all week, so I don't expect to see him on the field. Jacob Hollister, let's go, right? Let's give Knox a little run for his money here. Maybe kick him in the tush and get his game going. So one of these 3, again, we won't see Sweeney tomorrow. Maybe we'll see him in week 3, the preseason game 3. One of these 3 needs to step up and be that guy. Now, I think they all will contribute during the year. Absolutely. All 3 of them will contribute one way or another. And hopefully somebody just starts to stand out, because I believe in this passing offense, a tight end should do extremely well. And I haven't seen that in the past couple years. And we're going to need that. We're going to need that if we're going to beat some of the teams I talked about earlier. Spencer Brown, our swing tackle. I want to see him in early and often. Get him that experience. A little fun fact about Spencer Brown, he was a converted tight end. I don't know if it was right out of high school or his first year of college, but he was a converted tight end. Hey, if we're still in need of a tight end, maybe we can get that big body out there. He's not as fast as these other three tight ends that we have, but he's not that far behind them. A little bit of a joke there. But no, I want to see more of him. Big guy, young guy. I think he's just adding that to that depth of our offensive line, who was already good. We need Spencer Brown. And so I want to see him out there against first and second stringers. I don't want to see him against third and fourth stringers. I want to see him out there, like I said, early and often. So let me know your thoughts on what you like to see on offense. These are some of the key things I'm looking for tomorrow. So let's move on to some of the key things I'm looking for on defense. And there they are, right? There they are. Gregory Rousseau, number 1 pick this year. Carlos Boogie Basham, our 2nd pick overall this year. And then AJ Epinesa, our 2nd round pick last year. So these 3 guys, we need at least 1 or 2 of them to be that impact player that we expected them to be. If just 1 of them shows up or just 2, boom, all of a sudden we can get to that next level. So let's talk about our defense last year, right? We put a lot of pressure on quarterbacks, but our sack count was low. And I think we need to put more pressure. We need to get more sacks, obviously, if we're going to compete with some of these teams. Now, let me tell you something about the Chiefs. After what happened to Mahomes in the Super Bowl, where their offensive line was destroyed by Tampa, they completely revamped that offensive line. That offensive line is going to be better than it ever was. Now, we know Mahomes can throw the ball and do special things without an offensive line. What do you think he's going to do with extra protection? It's super scary. And the way we counter that is get these guys putting the heat on him. And we have so much young, athletic talent on that defensive line. Again, I'm excited about what we're going to see in the future. But these 3 are the key, in my opinion. Now let's talk about Rousseau. Got a sack his first game out there in the preseason, right? Super exciting. He had 1 sack, 1 tackle. He played against a 7th overall first rounder. He was playing against a rookie as well on that sack. Now that rookie for the Lions, like I said, 7th overall, he was a natural left tackle. They're converting him to a right tackle. So take it for what it's worth. I mean, yes, Rousseau beat him on that play, but he's adapting to a new position, which is not easy going from left to right. And again, he's a rookie as well. He's learning just like Rousseau. But a great start from Rousseau. Let's keep it going, Gregory. Again, I want to see a lot more of you tomorrow. Boogie Basham, I saw Boogie a lot in the 3rd and 4th quarters, I believe. I mean, he had a personal foul. He got in there and roughed up the quarterback. And I want to see him early, right? Let's get him against the 1st and 2nd stringers, not the 3rd and 4th stringers in the 3rd and 4th quarter. I want to see that young guy because he was my prediction to have a bigger impact from day 1 over Rousseau. I may be eating my words there, but in order to see that, we need to get him in early and often as well. Get him in at least in the 2nd quarter against some of those 1st and 2nd stringers, and let's see how he can do. Epinesa, again, we just need you to show up as well. I think everyone's talking about a big rebound year from him. And if that happens, oh my gosh, watch out. These 3 studs are just going to make our defense scary. People are going to be scared. But we need to get them the reps. We need to see more out of them. Get them in those games against, like I said, the 1st and 2nd stringers. Daryl Johnson, I mean, this guy, when I did the review of the game last week, this guy was putting pressure. Every time he was in on a passing down, there was pressure coming from him. And I've heard good things out of camp this week. So I'm excited. I mean, this guy, maybe this is finally the year he breaks out. And again, there's another guy. If he comes to life, look out. So I'm looking to see more of him as well. So exciting times for our Bills defense. And let's see what happens tomorrow. Now, Damar Hamlin, oh my gosh, right? This guy, if you watched the game last week, he was all over the place. He was all over the field. It was like every play, there he was in the frame. Made some great plays. I saw him miss a tackle. You don't like to see that from a safety. but he made some other great plays. Broke up a pass, was in on a few tackles, and just like I said, was his presence was all over. Again, it's hard to tell when they're playing against third and fourth stringers, but this is a guy who's just adding depth to our safety, and I'm super excited. He had a high rating coming out of the draft, and he showed it on the field. So I want to see a little bit more of him. Oh my gosh, that puts us at ease, right? If anything was to happen to our two starting safeties, to have a safety net like Damar Hamlin that's there, and he could help us out even when we want to bring in three safeties potentially. The guy's got some skill, and I'm super excited about it. Now here's one you're gonna say, Mike, Elijah Griffin. Why? I keep talking about Elijah Griffin, and this is like the third podcast that I've talked about him. And Elijah Griffin is just, my son and I have a soft spot for him, okay? We met him. We're both out here in Southern California. We were at my son's flag football game. We see this guy wearing the Bills gear. We walk up to him. I walk up to him because anytime I see someone sporting the Bills colors, I'm going to walk up and talk to him. And I introduce myself, say, hey, I've been a longtime fan. What's your connection? He says, I was just drafted by the Bills. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So he was an undrafted free agent out of USC. I think he was a 5-star recruit. So he was, recruited to USC as a shutdown corner. And he's 5'10". He's got some decent size, decent speed. And he got in last week. I saw him in the fourth quarter. He missed a tackle, and there was a slant play that he was beat on. But I'm hoping to see this guy. We're always pulling for underdogs. And I know he's working hard. And we're hoping that my son and I, Jonah, that, the Cinderella story happens. He makes the team. And even if he doesn't, and if he doesn't get onto our practice squad, that he does enough that he can be successful somewhere else, which I think that young man will be. Super nice kid. So that's why he's on here for me. He's been on it. And I'll continue to keep him on here until something else happens. So anyhow, that's why you see him. Now, interesting fact about him, his dad is famous rapper Warren G. And his uncle is Dr. Dre. I mean, how cool is that? Think of the songs that we can be putting up on the scoreboard. Anyhow, lots of fun things around Elijah Griffin. Keep an eye on him. I think he's wearing 37. He'll get some game time, third or fourth quarter. So keep an eye on him, and that's why he's there. So let's move on to special teams. Again, I kind of talked about this early. Isaiah McKenzie, Brandon Powell, they both returned some kicks last week, and then Marquis Stevenson. And I'm really interested in this right now. Again, Isaiah, you're going to make the team. No worries there. But don't let the turf trip you up. Don't let little shoestring tackles knock you over. Break some tackles. Show me something there. Marquis Stevenson, continue to do what you were doing last week. I wasn't super impressed. And again, I'm pulling for you. I think you can really add some fear, not only on the kickoff return, but if we put you in the slot and do some of those cool tricks that they like to do with these fast guys like McKenzie, like they do with Tyreek Hill. Anyhow, I'm super excited to see what happens out of here. And again, this is where I think Marquis Stevenson could make the squad. It's going to be super difficult. I mean, we've got a lot of depth at the wide receiver spot. But again, I think he can make it. And these other channels that are saying there's no way he's going to, I disagree. And we all have the right to our opinions. So, folks, let me know what your thoughts are on Stevenson as well, and if you think he has a shot. Again, we have to go from 85 to 80 spots on the roster by the 24th, which I believe is next Tuesday, and then we have to work our way down to 53-man roster by August 31st. So a lot going to happen. These next two preseason games are huge, not only for finding those guys that are going to help us get to the next level, but guys fighting for a roster spot. So I'm going to be coming back tomorrow to talk about, after the game, I'll have a post-game report just like I did last week. And we'll see if any of these things I talked about happened. If something else, somebody else stands out that I didn't talk about in these slides. So it'll be interesting. And again, I love preseason games for this very reason. So let's go, Mitch. Let's have a great game. And like I said, I can't believe the NFL was able to script something like this. So my new tagline: drop a nickel on that subscribe button for me, please. Give us a like, share, and comment. One of the things I always ask people to do: comment. Give me some comments. Let me know what you think about what I said today. Let me know what you want to see from the channel. I want to meet new people, and that's the best way for me to meet new people is for you to comment, subscribe, interact with me. I have on my let me go back to the main screen real quick. I have ways you can get a hold of me. You can reach out to social media platforms. There's an email for you. I would love to meet you, have some conversations, and we're all in this together. Let's go Buffalo. Let's win a Super Bowl, and let's talk about that journey. So I'll be seeing you sometime tomorrow, probably later in the afternoon after I've had a chance to. I'm going to watch the game live, and then I'm going to rewatch it and just kind of have a nice recap for everyone tomorrow. So that's it for now. I know everyone has a super busy weekend. I wanted to get to this to you early. Again, usually I come live on Saturday mornings, but life got in my way tomorrow. So here I am today. So everyone, thanks again for joining me. I'll talk to you real soon. Bye now.